here, the spoke about the Gemara. The Gemara says when it says Vayhi, it's an expression of tsar, because the sons of Aaron, they died on the 8th day. So here the Orach Chaim HaKadosh says, that's the Gemara. He says, "V'ulai nireh od ki atzar sheyagar hakosu shel Moshe." The tsar, the pain that we're speaking about is Moshe's pain. Meaning on the 8th day when Aaron and his children began officiating as Kohanim, there was pain to Moshe. What could have been his, this great privilege to be the Kohen, which could have been his and his progeny forever, now is Aaron. And because he was obstinate in regard to the agency at the burning bush, he gave every reason why he should not be the agent to go. So Hashem became angered with him. And Hashem says, if that's the case, you forfeited the kuna forever. So he's paying now that the empowerment of this glory of kuna is not going to be his forever. He says, even though Moshe Rabbeinu, he did it with tremendous righteousness and humility, if I take a pin and put it into you, you're pained. If actually something could have been his, is not his. Something of mitzvah value, it's an infinite value. Okay. Next pasuk. Yom El Aaron, we just began this. Kachlo egel ben boker lechatos. You take a calf, ben boker lechatos, for sin offering va'ayil la'olo, and a ram for a burnt offering, tmimim, unblemished. Va'akri ufnei Hashem, and you should bring it before Hashem. Kachlo egel lo'dia shemechapad HaKadosh Baruch Hu al yidei egel zeh, amasa egel she'oso. Hashem is atoning for the chet egel, for the egel, because of the masa egel she'oso. He says masa egel she'oso, Rashi says, right? Chazal. Doesn't say that he worshipped, that he made. Even though, what about according to the Medrash, he didn't actually make it, they just threw the gold and came out an egel. It's interesting. We say, we find that by the menorah, it says Teyose was made. They took the gold, threw it into the kiln, and it came out. You see over here like the counter force. The egel, they threw the gold in, it came out an egel. The menorah, you put it in, the block of gold came out of menorah. That's the counter. Torah Shabbat Peh, the only way you can counter that power is only, menorah represents Torah Shabbat Peh. It's not Torah Shabbat Chsav. Right? It's the oral law. So therefore, that's the counter. The way that came out, this comes out the same way. Except one's Kishuf, one, as it says over there, it was sorcery, and this was Hashem. Hashem made the menorah. One time. This is one time, right? This is how he was installed. This is how we. Lodia, to inform you, shemechapad HaKadosh Baruch Hu al yidei chet egel zeh. You're not qualified. You're not forgiven. Right? No, you are forgiven. Therefore, you're qualified to be the Kohen. How? It still didn't come down. This was not enough. They had to pray for the fire to come down, because there was still kitruk. There was still a prosecution. Yep. Over here, he speaks lengthily, the Orchama Kodesh, that he didn't even make the egel, right? They put it in the fire, and two sorcerers from the Erev Rav caused it to come out. So it comes out, what was his participation? Only the gathering of the gold. He gave the order, the gold should be gathered. That was his intent, was the delay, even though it didn't turn out good. No, she'osa. Meaning, he enabled it to come about. He enabled it to come about. Why was Chur killed? Because the moment he stood up, and Aaron the Gemara says Aaron should have stood up against him. He should have died. Knowing what was going to happen, he should have died. So good. So you see, said if you have to give your life, not to allow something to happen, right? So that was his obligation. He didn't do that. So for that, he needed kapara. Look, he lost two of his sons. Right? What did he lose two of his sons? He never did idolatry. It came out by itself. But that he built the Mizbeach and that he gave the order to gather the gold, that was sufficient. So he facilitated it. That's enough of a claim against him. Vel b'nei Yisrael tedaber lemor chu sirizim lechatos. See here, they can't bring an egel for the chatos because they were actually involved in the idolatry itself. The egel, the keves b'nei shonot from the olo. It's interesting. I mean, it always bothers me. We read already at the beginning of Vayikra that if a animal is blemished, it doesn't qualify as a korban, correct? And yet the Torah keeps mentioning ayal ola tamimim. Over here, egel v'keves b'nei shonot tamimim, unblemished. What do we have to keep reiterating? There's a prerequisite for an animal to be qualified as a korban, as a sacrifice. It has to be unblemished. So what does the Torah have to continuously mention? They have to be tamimim. They have to be unblemished. It's understood. If it's a balmum, doesn't qualify as a korban, firstly. Secondly, when he spoke about Aaron's korban, kachla egel ben bok chatos v'ayalolo, so the tmimim is going back on both. It's going back on the egel ben bok lechatos and the ayalolo tmimim. The second one says el bnei Yisrael ku sirizim lechatos. Then it says v'egel v'keves bnei shono tmimim laolo. It seems to be there the tmimim is going on the ola. On the chatos doesn't seem to be the tmimim is going back on the chatos. Right, if you read the pasuk, the way the pasuk reads. Why? I mean, you need tmimim, as you need tmimim for the olo, you need tmimim for the chatos. So why doesn't it go back on that? That the Torah already said you can't have pigul. Pigul invalidates the korban. If you have any, because it's always that. I'm not sure where it goes over. I was thinking over here the difference why by Aaron and here, because could be when the chatos by Bnei Yisrael, it's still not. Even after everything's said, the tmima, it's still. It's a deficient korban because it says when Hashem forgave us the chet egel, it says for all generations. It says beis pakarti upakarti. There's always a remnant of the chet egel. It's not fully forgiven. Whenever Hashem will punish us into the future, part of that punishment will be part of the chet egel. So I bet we brought a chatos. They did tshuva. The answer is it's never complete. So therefore, in regard to Aaron, the tmimim is going back on his. He was never involved in the chet egel. So him tmimim is going back on both, not in the physical sense. The tmimim is also going on the level of kapara. Klal Yisrael, the Tamima is only on the Ola. On the Chatos, it's not a full Tamima. So therefore, as I said, in terms of the Doron, the Ola is they're fully reinstated in terms of relationship. But in terms of Chapora, which is the Chatos, they're not fully atoned. That's what I was thinking. Okay, let's see the Maral. No, that's something else. That's, no, I understand that, but there's a different point over here we're making. The Chet Egel, right, throughout our existence, whatever we're going to be punished, if we have to be punished, part of the punishment is that. I explained that. I explained it this way. That the Gemara says in Avodah Zorah that if we wouldn't have done the Chet Egel, right, we would have been free of the Yetzer Hara. We would have lived. We went back to the Chet pre-sin of Adam. So it comes out like this. So why are we susceptible to Chet? Because we did a Chet Egel. So it comes out whenever we sin in the future, when you're going to be punished for that, you're also going to be punished for the Egel, because the Egel is the cause of this Chet. Right? So they're linked. One's linked to the other. So when Hashem is going to punish for whatever Chet we do then, He's also going to punish to a degree from that original Chet. There's always that continuous linkage.